Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Love It or Shove It. This is the show where we are talking about love and relationship. How do we have a better relationship for ourselves and our partners? And if this is the first time you are tuning in, welcome. This is a great space where we just talk the truth, we talk the real conversations we have and maybe something that resonates with you, what you are going through in your life. So, welcome. And my name is Irina Portnova. I'm all about helping you to manifest the great love and attract that partner that truly matches all your desires. And I'm here with my co host, Bruno Gale. Bruno.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Bruno. I'm just giving you obviously just giving you the time of the day, of course. Back here with our talk show. I'm a self-love coach. I help women primarily with becoming more authentic, becoming more vocal about their desires, being more confident, have more self-love, have more self-esteem. Right? Really connect with who they are, so obviously they can enjoy the life they have and the life they want to build for themselves as well. And yes, I'm 100% yes. Very excited for this one.
hmm And today we have a topic feminine desire versus masculine drive. And I feel this is like one of the greatest conversations because a lot of times there is a misconception. First of all, we all carry both energies. Each person, whether male or female, we all have that feminine and masculine energies. And but today we are going to talk more about the dynamic and what happens when a woman's desire actually inspire the bigger vision for life and a man feels driven to build it with her. Because when we are talking about the healthy masculine and feminine dynamics, the relationship becomes more than just the attraction. It becomes the inspiration, it becomes the movement, it becomes the expansion, and it becomes something that two people really want to build together. And usually the feminine side is the one who brings the vision, meaning she wants the experiences, she wants the beauty, she wants the emotional richness, she desires for more life together. And the healthy masculine energy often responds through action, through leadership, through building and creating the structure that supports that vision, not because one energy is more important than the other one, but because both energies naturally contribute something powerful to that relationship. So before we dive in, this conversation is about healthy masculine and feminine dynamics, and it doesn't mean that when somebody has to already embody that version of themselves, right, and really navigating this life perfectly with these energies, but it's more about understanding that everybody is on their own journey, and you still can benefit from this conversation even if you are in the healing, even if learning, you are still learning to be emotionally safe, even you are still discovering what the healthy relationship is for you, and even you are, if you're still figuring out who you are at the core. So again, it's just a great opportunity to open up something new and just kind of embrace the moment and to see where I am standing with everything what we are going to be sharing, and just notice, right? All it requires is for you to notice, because again, it's more about becoming more aware what creates healthy polarity, what creates emotional connection, and what helps relationships expand in a healthy way. Because we can all grow into the healthy ways of loving and relating. And it's all starts from noticing and being aware and understand. So let's just go and focus a little bit on the points that we wanted to address. And the first point was why feminine desire often expands the vision for life together. Because feminine energy at the core She wants the experiences, she wants the beauty, she wants the emotional richness, she wants the expansion, she wants the possibility. And the feminine often desires that more life. She desires more connection, she desires more experiences together and more emotional fulfillment. Not because she's selfish, not because she wants a lot, because this is the essence of the feminine energy. And that desire can become deeply inspiring to healthy masculine energy. So, what does it actually look like? A woman says, I would love for us to travel more together. I want us to create a beautiful life together. I want us to experience more freedom. And I want us to build something meaningful together. She expands her vision. She expresses what she truly desires. Now, healthy masculine energy often naturally responds with, how do I make that happen? How do I build towards that? How do I create the structure to support that vision? For instance, a woman can talk about wanting the experiences together, building the house together, or creating the lifestyle of freedom and experiences. And the right masculine doesn't automatically hear pressure. He hears purpose. He hears something meaningful to create. He hears there is a vision I want to build toward. Because the feminine desire often expands what feels possible. And healthy masculine energy frequently feels very energized when it has something emotionally meaningful to build toward. Bruno, would you like to say something?
100%, of course. No, I really like what was said. I think it was really nice, and I think it's really true as well. In the beginning, you will say that it's very important to work on the polarity between both sexes,
Mhm.
right? So obviously, on the way that both interact with each other, the way both help each other, the way both support each other, the way both see each other as well, and I think most importantly, also the way that people also love each other, right? Um, there's two ways to see this. It's like either one is gonna love the other the way one believes the other should be loved, or the other person is gonna love the way they want to be loved. The end, right? So I could try and love you know a person the way I think they want to be loved, right? And then when it doesn't go well, I just be like, oh, but I thought he wanted this, I thought he wanted that, and then end up blaming people, or I could just blame myself for not knowing how the person likes to be loved, right?
Mm,
Or even like just accepting that we all want to be loved in our own way, right?
mhm,
And yeah, I mean, I guess, um, yeah, because again, like in a relationship, people have to be flexible, right? I think like flexibility is a very important thing. Being flexible, right? Being flexible is crucial because again, it's like I won't say it's like work. I'd say that the one of the reasons why, for example, a lot of people further focus on money than on people is because it's easier to manage, an object than to manage a human being, right?
yeah.
And managing a human being is already super hard. It won't be harder than managing your own self, right? You're managing yourself, you're managing another human being, you're coming home to them, you're cooking for them, or you're eating together, or you're this or you're that. It's just such a mess. Like it's such a complex thing that it's a lot of people pretend that it's easy because they don't want to look like they don't want to be the ones who don't have the perfect relationship or the right relationship or whatever it is,
Mhm,
which at the end of the day it's bullshit because everybody has relationship problems, and everybody is trying their best to maintain everything and manage everything and know what they're doing and how they're doing it. So yeah, that's obviously point number one. Point number two, I think like feminine desire versus masculine desire. It's I don't want people to look at this and think like this is competition to see which one is better. I want people to look at this and see this as a way of one without the other is not incomplete. It's just more powerful. When a man feels supported by his woman, wife, girlfriend, whatever, there's like there's something within a man's purpose that it makes us want to fight for you, right? When you're patient with us, when you're tolerant with us, when you understand us, like when you say it's okay, I understand, look, I believe in you, I have faith in you, we're gonna do this. There's something within us that just there's a spark within us. That there's something within us that it just lights up, and you just wanna. You were tired, now you're not. Now you're not tired anymore, right? Now you wanna go again. You don't want to sleep because for us men, right? We do a great job when we're fighting for ourselves and for what we love. But we literally go over the miles. We will walk through broken fucking glass. We will burn ourselves. We will do anything it takes to make the people that we love happy, successful, alive, because this is what we do. We provide, we protect, right? When we see that our loved ones believe in us, that they love us, we will go to the ends of the world. We wouldn't do that for us because us on ourselves, we don't give a shit, right? But for the ones we do love, we would sacrifice all of it just for the ones that we love because this is what we do, right? But then when it comes to also feminine desire, I think that uh, I think feminine desire on its own is also very nice, right? Because then again, um, I think when it comes to also communication, when it comes to also this, so desire, communication, drive, like when two people feel connected, not only they want to love each other more, but they also want to give to each other more, right? I think it's this giving that works. I think in a relationship, what works the most is when you're a giver, right? Like I think a lot of people are takers, and I understand that, but givers have to be marrying givers. Like I'm not saying like don't give to yourself and just give to your partner. I'm saying you know the more you give to your partner, the more your partner wants to give you back. It's simple maths. Like it's simple, to be fair. It's really simple. Whether and then again, if you're giving in a way that your partner wants to be given to, whatever they want to receive, whether if it's gifts, whether if it's love, whether if it's understanding, whether if it's somebody who listens, whether if it's your time, whether if it is quality time, whether if it is like words of affirmation or compliments or whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck, right? The more you give, the more you get, right? So I think that I think that is actually, yeah, that's I don't say that works like all the time, but like humans reciprocate emotion, right? Like humans reciprocate like behaviors, right? Especially women, like when women love a guy, like they don't become their clone, they don't become their copycat, but you can see when a woman is loved and when a woman is not loved, right? It's like their face is a complete reflection when they feel loved by their partner, right? For example. But then again, to come back to the point, like feminine desire and masculine drive, like one is not better than the other. It's more like they both work on their own, in my opinion, because a woman can still make something out of herself with her own desire without no masculine drive from somebody else, of course. I think that obviously them both together, they're super powerful. I think it's when you have when you have a feminine that has a lot of desire, and then you have a masculine that has a lot of drive, I think there's a crazy combo there. That's a very good combo. That's a very good combo that, yeah, can literally take over the world if that's what they intend to do.
So I wanted to move to another point and also to add to what you're saying. A lot of times there are guys who get really scared, especially when a woman has a lot of desires, right? And if you are one of them listening to us, I just wanted to say that if you have the drive, the woman's energy is going to propel you to the heights you never even thought you are possible. Again, we are talking about healthy feminine and healthy masculine, right? If there is wound in this relationship, you'll see that people are going to hurt each other. But when these relationships are built on respect and healthy relationship, even when a woman comes up with the crazy things, and a man is driven to do that, because remember, a man is going to be connected to the abundance and wealth through the feminine energy, because that's exactly how the universe works. And a lot of people have no even comprehension of that. So the more they understand that when you are with the right woman by your side, you can have something that you would never even dreamed about. But again, it's all about staying in agreement. Yes, the feminine wants, and yes, the masculine is ready to deliver. That's exactly where connection is really going forward. And that's where exactly people seeing the miracles, like even listening to the success stories. And there were a lot of great women behind these successful men, and they were constantly praising them, saying that if it's not for my woman who was telling me this is what she wants and she believes that I can have it, even though both of us did not know how it's going to happen, how it's all going to play out. But because the woman, like I said, the feminine energy and the masculine drive, that's exactly what makes things possible. So let's talk about why healthy masculine energy feels driven when it has something meaningful to build. Because healthy masculine energy naturally thrives through movement, through purpose, through leadership, through accomplishment, and they want to create the stability and the progress. But many masculine men become even more focused and driven when their efforts are connected to love, to partnership, to shared vision and emotional inspiration, because now the work means something bigger, just the survival or status. So how would it actually show up in our daily life? A man may become more focused, more ambitious, more intentional, and more disciplined when he feels emotionally connected to a future he genuinely wants to create with someone. And now that success feels tied to creating the experiences together, providing emotional and physical stability, and building a bigger life together. For instance, a man who once drifted through life without much direction may suddenly become more motivated, more future focused, and more committed to growth when he emotionally connects to a woman who inspires him, who believes in him, who expands his vision for life. Not because she is doing the work for him, everybody has their own work to do, but because the relationship gives his actions emotional meaning. So, healthy masculine energy often becomes more powerful when it feels emotionally inspired. It has nothing to do with control, it has more about genuinely moving and wanted to actually create something for a woman. Bruno, do you want to say something?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, we're talking about masculine drive, on how that's like amplified with a woman that then again
Mm.
has a desire, which is true. Yeah, but then again, that's what I was saying as well, and it's good that we can agree on that, and that's a good thing. To be fair, yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, I think that I think that men can, I think both men and women, whatever they want to do on their own, they can do it on their own. There's no doubt about it. But there's something about the energy of both sexes that one can complement the other. You know, like I can know how to hold the space for people, which is very feminine. I believe so. I can know how to be more receptive, learn how to use my own rest as a way to attract what I want from myself, creative energy, desire this, desire that. I can also harness my own feminine skills within myself, and the woman can also harness her own masculine skills within herself: the tenacity, the drive, the action, action, action. Let's go, speed, fast. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. But then again, no matter how good I am at that, I'm not a woman. Period. You know, and no matter how women are good at that as well, they're all men, right? But what I do know is that the more a man and a woman can pour into each other, the more they can also pour into the world, right? And the more then they can pour into their own life. It comes to a point where like both actually they feed off each other. You know, um, they can help each other, right? Like I think like when a man and a woman when they're both on the same purpose, when they're both on the same mission, it's there's a certain alignment that happens in between them. Like there's a certain like psychic alignment, a certain mental alignment. There's a certain spiritual alignment. It's like you start waking up at the same hours, or like like their name comes to our heads, and next thing you know, like they're typing, or they just literally sent a message. Um, like it's like it's almost like you telepathically bond. It's like it's like your energies, what you desire, is so aligned that you kind of start having the same type of movement in different bodies, which in this case it's theirs and yours. um it's really interesting. To be fair, it's a really interesting concept. um but yeah, and that's beautiful. That's really nice. That's really really good. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think
You know
that's
what? I love everything what you shared. I just wanted to add one moment, which is super, super important. Because the most independent woman, the most strongest woman, the woman who can get it all, still wants to have a man by her side who she can come and cry and find that safety harbor. So it doesn't mean when a woman is strong that she doesn't want to be with that man who she still feels that he is the protector, he is the
Mhm.
provider, and he is the one, right? Because again, like we were mentioning, we all carry both energies, feminine and masculine, but still feminine is more naturally in the receiving state, where the man showing up better when he
Mhm.
is in a given state, because that's exactly how energy, right? So the woman is there to receive love, to receive the gifts, to receive the admiration, to receive the compliments. But man, what he is receiving in exchange, he is receiving that energy that drives him, that energy that gives him the true path to whatever they want. They become fueled with that, right? Because again, what is the most important thing? Energy. If we do not have energy, we are drained. And a woman is that source of the energy for man. So the difference between inspiration and pressure in relationships. This is the part that is very important, because there is a huge difference between inspiring someone and trying to force someone. Because healthy feminine desire inspires and pressure feels like controlling. So, what this actually looks like in the real life, inspiration sounds like, I would love for us to experience this together. And pressure sounds like, why aren't you giving me this already? So one creates emotional openness, inspiration, desire to move, and the other one creates resistance, emotional shutdown, and defensiveness. For instance, a woman shares, I would love for us to travel more together. And a healthy masculine man may feel inspired, excited, emotionally connected to the vision, but if the energy constantly becomes criticism, pressure, emotional dissatisfaction, the masculine energy often starts feeling inadequate instead of inspired. But that again, it doesn't mean that if the person says, yes, of course, we are going to travel, we are going to do things and not doing anything about it, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the woman inspires and man is ready to take the action and do something about it. So, healthy masculine energy expands more through appreciation, emotional connection, and shared vision than through constant criticism or pressure. But then again, there has to be the motion happening in between. The action steps are taken. And that is the proof of how these both dynamics coexist together. Bruno, you want to add something?
Yeah, of course. So pretty much, wait a second. Yeah. Yeah, so 100%. I think that everybody makes their choices in life. When people make a choice to do something, I think they should try their very, very best. Obviously, I have experience from my own self. Life takes turns. You see better opportunities to do certain things, um, and you will just end up taking them because I like myself as a man, right? Like I know that myself as a man, the best thing for me is to be as clear as I possibly can from day one. And something I'm very clear with about is like I've always told people that I've been in relationships with, you know, obviously recently, of course, not like obviously in the past 10 years, no, but in the past maybe like 2, 3, 4 years, right? I've always said I've always wanted to have my own business. I've always wanted to do things together, right? I'd like for us to focus on it 100% together all the time, right? Um, and unfortunately, I couldn't have that before, and for example, in my experience, I also had to I had to pivot my way. Does that mean that for me, obviously, the relationship was over, or I wanted it to be over because now I was doing business like with other people and not obviously like that? No, but I had to pivot. I had to find a way to try to achieve my goals, which is I'm going to be 25 in a month. I have 5 years until I'm 30 years old, and I'm not waiting another fucking day, right, to have people be focusing on the same things I want to focus on, right? By 30, I want to have what I want to have. I want to be with where I want to be. I want to be driving what I want to be driving. I want to be living where I want to be living. I want to have a certain amount of money. I could do it on my own. Yes, I could 100%, but I know that's not what I'm being called to do. I'm not being called to build something on my own that is going to change the world. I know I'm being called to do it with someone who is willing to invest as much time into it as I am, right? Proper time, right? Not like I'm going to put 50% on this and then I'm going to go like 100% on what I'm doing myself. That to me doesn't work anymore because I have certain goals I want to attain that I want to have by 30. Now, look, if I'm 30 years old and I don't have it, okay, fine, I don't have it, no problem, right? But I can't say, oh, well, I tried if I never tried. I can't say like, oh, well, I never, I never really worked that much for it, so I don't really know how it would be if I had, right? Only if I really worked for it, only really if I actually tried with someone who wants to try with me 100% of the time at all times, focus on it from day to night. Only that can I, only then can I really like tell myself if it didn't work, then it didn't work. But that's not going to happen because I'm going to make it happen with somebody who generally wants to make it work with me like that, right? Um, Now, does that had to influence the relationship? No, it didn't have to influence the relationship in whatever regards. Because for me, it would never have done that, right? Obviously, the other way around wasn't the case, which is fine. I completely understand. Which I completely understand. And maybe if it was with other people, it'd be the same exact thing. I completely get it. Honestly, completely understand that. But um, but ultimately, sometimes in life we have to pivot, right? Sometimes in life we have to pivot, and just like everybody's doing what's best for them, I'm also doing what I believe is best for me, you know, and that's just what it is, and we have to do what's best for ourselves, right? So, um, yeah, I can only, simple. Just you gotta ride the wave. You have to ride the wave, And people are doing what's best for them. They're focusing on themselves, and I need to do what's best for me as well, which is focus on myself and focus on what I believe is gonna make me the most money. It's gonna bring me the most happiness. It's going to drive me more to what I desire, to what I want, to what I want to become, to who I want to become, to what I want to possess, to what I want to have, to what I want to provide, to what I want to give, right? And once you start understanding that, okay, maybe this path is not the best, let me try and pivot, let me see what I can do about it, right? And let me see how much of this can I juggle at the same time. If I can do the two things at the same time, because there's certain emotional conflict going on, no problem. I need to choose what I really want. I need to choose what I really want. I need to choose what I really desire here, and see what in the short term is better for me, but in the long term is even better, right? um and we all make our choices, and then again, you're not going to be right 100% of the times. You're not going to be right every single time in your life. You're not going to be right 100% of the times. But as long as you are right once in what you really desire as a man, or if you're just right once in what you really desire as a woman or as a relationship, and you nail that shit, you are set for life. Whether if it's financially, emotionally, doesn't matter. But you are set, right? You just have to stay in it long enough, right? And I truly believe that things eventually play out. But two people or one person, they have to be fully invested in it, fully. And if they're not fully invested, can forget about it. That's fine, right? But then again, don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to try new things and choose new things. Don't be afraid, because it's normal. That's part of life.
Okay, let's bring it back to the couples because we are talking about relationship. We are not talking about, me, just me and my needs. So I wanted to talk about why shared vision creates stronger emotional connection and commitment, going back to feminine and masculine dynamics. Relationships become much stronger when both people feel emotionally connected to the same vision for life. Because without shared vision, relationships often become reactive, directionless, and emotionally disconnected over the time. But when both people are building towards something together, the relationship gains momentum. What does it look like in the real life? Instead of only focusing on day to day survival, the couple starts building goals together, dreams together, experiences together, emotional connection through shared purpose. Now, both people feel emotionally invested in where the relationship is going. For instance, a couple talks openly about where they want to live, what experiences they want together, what lifestyle they want to create, how they want love to feel long term. And now that relationship becomes intentional instead of accidental. And the truth is, shared vision creates emotional unity. And again, it's not just dreaming about it, it's actually doing something towards that, right? Because there is a big gap when people just want something, talk about it, but they are not really taking the steps towards that. And when we have the vision, and also we have the action steps, daily steps that moving the needle in the right direction, that's what the healthy masculine and feminine connection is. And during that connection, both people are expanding. The healthiest relationships are not one person carrying everything or one person sacrificing themselves completely. Healthy polarity creates mutual expansion. The feminine often inspires emotional openness, beauty, connection, expansion, and the vision for life. And the masculine often responds through action, grounding, leadership, creating movement, and that stability. Then together, one energy expands the vision while the other helps bring the vision into reality. So, this is exactly how it looks like when a woman says, I want us to experience more life together, I want us to travel together. And instead of staying only in fantasy, he plans, he builds, he follows through, he creates movement toward that shared desires. At the same time, her appreciation fuels his drive, his consistency deepens her openness, and both people start to feel emotionally supported in different ways. So the strongest relationships often feel like inspiration meeting action, vision meeting structure, and emotional connection meeting real life movement. Bruno, you want to say something?
Yeah, of course, 100%. Yeah, obviously, I'm gonna have to go after this. I'm really sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, obviously, again, like couples need structure. Like obviously that was being said. Couples need structure. They need to be organized. Couples need to couples need structure. Need to be organized. Couples need to have a specific plan to see how things are gonna work from front, middle to end. Period. That's it. Again, obviously, like you were saying, and you were kind of were right in what you were saying. We kind of like pivoted a little bit from the actual conversation. We started speaking about more like individual desires, not so much like collective. I understand, but to be fair, honestly, if I was to say, if I was to say something, I'd say this, that there is still a lot of correlation to it, right? There is still a lot of correlation, especially because your individual desires will 100% impact your collective desires as a relationship. So that in itself is already a lot because there's so much to unpack on that alone. But in the end, you know, everything needs a plan, especially relationships. Okay, 1 year plan, 5 year plan, 10 year plan, not too short, not too long, just right in the middle. To make sure that it's pretty much um, something you guys can look up to and look forward to. Right, I think that's fantastic. And in the end, yeah, it's just doing your very best to try and see what you guys can do about it. And make sure that in the end, then again, feminine desire impacting masculine drive impacting feminine desire, working together as a team, working together as a unit. Like um, as a man, make your woman feel more as a woman. As a woman, make your man feel more as a man. Right? Do your best to enhance the qualities in him. Make him aware that if he forgets about it, right? If as a man, enhance the qualities in her, right? If she forgets about it, remind her about it, right? Um, if she works best in peaceful situations, provide for that peace, in like influence the way she receives that peace, be an influence and be the biggest influence she can have when it comes to receiving that peace, right? Um, if um, if the man wants to feel like a man and loves to feel like a man, be the biggest influence as well on that. Be the one who makes him feel the most like a man, right? Right. You provide for their needs, they'll never leave because they know they won't get that shit anywhere else. Simple as that, right? So yeah, I guess for me that's it. Yeah. Just
Yeah, I
play
just
it your
wanted
side.
to yeah, I just wanted to add one sentence that a healthy feminine energy often expands the vision for what life could become, and a healthy masculine energy feels driven to build that reality that supports it. Because her desire becomes inspiration and his devotion becomes the movement. So we really would love for you to comment if there is anything you would like to share, or just share that episode with somebody who might benefit, because again, nobody got it all, and we are all navigating our own pain, our own questions to have the answers for them. But when we come in this space and we talk about it, that makes it more relatable, and that makes us to understand something that we might not understand alone. So thank you so much. Thank you, Bruno, for your contribution, and
Of course.
we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Yep.